Good evening and salutations, my soap opera fans. So, the question of the night, again, is when did average become the new normal? I'm specifically talking about General Hospital and just how much, well, just how boring it was today, how useless it was. I actually had more fun watching B&B today than I did GH. And that is sad for so many reasons. How you doing tonight, Crystal? I feel like the only reason why people actually probably liked this episode was because of Trina and Spencer. Because they look quote unquote cute together. Other than that, they didn't really do much of anything. Isaiah's in the chat. Isaiah says average became the new normal for the soaps for sure by the mid 2010s. Yeah, I can see that. How you doing tonight, Bakai? Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining Crystal. Thank you for joining Isaiah. Kai Reed is in the chat. Was good. How you doing tonight? Thank you for joining. Rams TV is in the chat. Was good. How's everything going tonight? I'm doing pretty well. How are you doing tonight? I got my donuts. I did sit there and say I was going to have ice cream today, but for some odd reason, I wanted to have donuts. I guess that's going to be a thing for a while until I get bored of that and probably go back to ice cream as soon as I can figure out how to open this thing. Y&R was okay today. Wasn't really too great, but it wasn't too terrible either. I don't get it with Lily and her whole let's take some time apart. Just break up already. What is this? Let's take some time apart. Isaiah says, in hindsight, the soap started falling off during the mid 2000s, but even when they still managed to have a bright spot and more factors that made you keep watching in comparison to now. Yeah, when I started watching GH, it was in the year 2000, and I loved it. And I know a lot of people say, "Oh, it was the Sonny and Carly and Jason show." Okay, and it was a lot of mob stuff. Okay, well, it made it interesting to me. I loved it. I could not get enough of it. Jay Blue's in the chat. How you doing tonight? Thank you for joining. I can't get enough of that stuff. And now it's like Sonny in this episode was completely pointless and completely useless in this entire episode. Spider Quake is in the chat. Was good. Was good, Big Nate. How you doing tonight? Spider Quake says, after watching your GH review, I knew this was going to be. Yeah. You know me well, Spider Quake. You know me well. Crystal says Lily is a controller freak, so it was obvious that she made that move. Yeah, I don't get the point of let's take some time to separate. Let's take a break from each other. No, just break up. Makai says Jack is falling for Dan again, even after all her lies. Yeah, I get it. She's been lying since she's been back in town, but she hasn't. I feel like she hasn't been doing anything too crazy. So I don't get the hate of her. I don't get the hate of Diane. Jose says I admit that even LGA's 2000s was not my cup of tea. Always have better day-to-day writing than yeah. News says Bill Spencer still have lost his the fact that he's with Sheila for all the wrong reasons is just mind-boggling. It is, but it was so entertaining. It was so. Here's the thing: I enjoyed B&B more than I enjoyed GH today, and that's mind-boggling to me. Graham said Lily tried to get that old thing back with Daniel. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: it's gotten to the point where she's getting mad at petty things now. Yeah, okay, cool. Um, Billy didn't have anything planned. And his plan was to wait outside until midnight and the freezing temperatures until fireworks started. Yeah, I get that. Spikewick says, I hope when Britt leaves, she leaves a letter. I doubt that because that would kind of defeat the purpose of her leaving. Krista said, wait, what? Bill and Sheila? Yeah. Kyrie says Taylor needs a good lawyer, not dumb Carter. Well, why is Carter dumb? I mean, he makes stupid decisions, yes, in his personal life, but I don't know what that has to do with him being, like his professional life. If that makes any sense. Now, Isaiah says Don Diamond had great acting. It's just too bad that the storyline is so dumb. Yeah, but here's the thing, though. I'd rather take the cartoonist stuff over whatever GH was doing today. By the way, did anyone actually like General Hospital today? Like, did anyone actually like General Hospital today? And if so, please tell me why. Hmm. Tracy Teeves in the chat. How you doing tonight? Kyrie said it was all right. What was good about it? Spikewick says, "How you feeling about Michael?" It's stupid. It is so dumb, Spikewick. When Sonny goes down, his family goes down as well. That is the biggest problem with this whole episode. I mean, this is the biggest problem with Michael. Um, his plan. Yeah, Makai, I was actually in the mood for donuts. I'm probably gonna get ice cream soon, but I don't know. I was just in the mood for donuts. I'm probably gonna have that for a little bit, and then I'll go back to ice cream because I don't know. It's just been cold. Well, actually, lately it's actually been kind of warm. Nate said GH felt boring besides Sabrina. I'm having donuts. How you doing, Karen? Thank you for joining tonight. Clark says, well, Chris, yeah, it wasn't much saying about it. Yeah, it was crap. It was boring. Curry says the writers are very slowly making me root for Esme. That's what today episode. Yeah, I enjoyed that part. I did enjoy the Esme part. I will say that much. Esme has actually been a highlight of some of these episodes. Makai says yes, yes was okay. I wanted to just knock Michael out today. By the way, how was that song? Was it actually good? Isaiah says, so today's GH and Brit already remind me of why I'm not eager to watch it. It always has fillers that does not. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what this episode was. Was this one giant filler? I'm glad you're feeling better, Spider-Quake. I am so glad that you're feeling better. Because trust me, I had the same that you had. I would not wish that on the world. How you doing tonight, Dolly? Thank you for joining. Jay Blue says I liked it. I love the karaoke song, Class 80s. So true about the consequences with Sunny going down. Yeah. Well, Jay Blue, I'm glad that you actually um found some value in this episode. Yeah, I definitely did not. But hey, listen, I'm glad you did. As I said, I did like the Sabrina scenes and Nicholas, Laura. Honestly, Laura makes almost. Hmm, I don't know. Laura was actually being pretty much of a nag today. How you doing, Shauna? Thank you for joining. Oh, Karen said I thought Bridge Party would be good. I was wrong. Yeah, I mean it's a little light episode. If you don't mind light episodes, then you're gonna like it. But I'm just wasn't there for it. Janet or Jay Z, how you doing tonight? Yes, it was Janet, in the best way. The Haviland's in the chat. How you doing tonight? Juanita's in the chat. How you doing tonight? Big Samuel's in the chat. Was good. Juanita said Trina and Spencer getting back. Samuel says I've been fine with Jade. I'm glad it's no longer mob heavy, but I haven't watched today's episode. Hmm. Yeah, I get it, Samuel. Not everyone's a fan of the mob stuff. That's why, I get it. For me, it worked, but I don't know. It's like they haven't replaced it with anything good. That's the problem. Um, Spike Quick says, yeah, Brit sung good, so did Blaze when she promote. Okay, good. I'm glad it was actually a good song. I usually fast forward past that stuff. So now Laura is in the chat. Laura says, however, do you think that Esme Baby is going to end up in foster care? Esme can't raise that kid on her own. I can't even see anyone coming forth and claiming it. Well, I mean, if everything goes to plan, she wouldn't have to sit there and raise it alone. You know, Nicholas has money, so there is that. But Laura, I feel like they're going to do a baby switch. That's what I'm hearing from a lot of people. Isaiah says at least back then, GH would always progress storylines. Stories when it comes to characters would be as some gathering. Yeah, instead of just being a filler. Sana says Lily and Billy, gloom and doom. Yeah, they're broken up thing. Or I'm sorry, they're taking a break. I like saving challenges. Saving challenges, you are right on time. And thank you for joining us tonight. It's always great to see you in the chat. Jay Blue says, isn't Nicholas claiming the baby, Laura? Okay. Shauna says Michael needs to stop. Dex should have quit. I cannot Beatrice or Beat Claire. Thank you for joining. I'm gonna call you Anna. I hope that's okay. Thank you for joining because I always see you in the comment section, so it's really good to sit there and see you. Well, thank you for joining. I always appreciate seeing you. Spike Quick says always listen to the first 10 seconds of a song. That's good. That's good. That's probably something I should do. How you doing tonight, Eagle Fang? Kelly says I wasn't a big fan of G's trying to mob CS, but yeah, it was exciting. Eagle Fang says what? You think they're too invested in the whole Sabrina thing? I feel like that's probably the only thing that's so good that they're just like, all right, whatever. Um, I'm probably not gonna sit there and do the donuts for too long because I can't eat and talk at the same time. It's just kind of gross. Trap threes in the chat was good. How you doing tonight? Oh, you're fan. He definitely lost his mind. But thank you for joining. Anna Rena. I'm gonna call you Anna. Thank you for joining, and it's really great to see you. You know, even if you're just listening in, I appreciate that. Kyrie said, I fast forward just yeah, for me, I can't take them seriously as far as being a singer, and there's nothing against them because they can actually be good singers, but it doesn't really do much for me, man. It's actually kind of hot. Maybe I actually should have got some ice cream tonight. I may do that tomorrow if it's actually going to be this temperature. Isaiah says, "Do you think that GH could benefit from having more characters within the storyline? You mean like a whole group thing? Maybe. I mean, I'm not a fan of all, of like 3,000 characters that's on the show, but if they group them together, it may not be that bad. Samuel says, I want soaps to stop having their cast members singing the songs, be so cheesy, and the singers be like half a note out of key. Yeah, because, they always sit there and they do the lip syncing thing. So Jay Blue says, Laura, I'm quite sure that Victor or Laura will help. Oh, you're talking about somebody else. Billy said, very few of the soap opera actors. Yeah, yeah, you're 100% right about that. And don't get it twisted, though. Yeah, and don't get it twisted. I mean, there are some people that can legit sing, um, which I think is great. But since I don't really know them personally, hey, how you doing tonight, AJ? Since I don't really know them personally, it's just like, eh. Now, you fans says from the news of Nicholas, his last one-air episode ends in Jan. Yeah, Eagle Fang again. I don't think we're ever going to sit there and find out why he got let go. You know, or it could be the other way around. It could be the other way around. It could be Nicholas might wanted to leave, but it doesn't sound like it though. I just don't think that we're ever going to really know why. Yeah, Kyrie. You mean Chloe from? Wait, Kyrie. Which Chloe you talking about? You mean YNR or Days of Our Lives Chloe? If it's YNR, then yeah, she definitely is a nag. I mean, here's the thing. I get it. I really do. I really do. But it's just all the time. Grams TV says, "Did you get a chance to look up Hazel used to?" No, I didn't. I didn't get a chance yet. I will though. Let me write that down. I'm gonna try to do it tonight because I do miss Degrassi. So I'm gonna try to look it up tonight. Now, Dolly says, "I noticed you mentioned liking Chloe singing in one of your reviews. The actress exactly. Yeah, Dolly. Yeah, the actor or the actress wise, yeah, she can sing. Like, damn, she can sing, and she does look really, really good. It's just too bad that I don't like the actual character of her. Eagle Fang, did you ever get a chance to work on a Discord server? Not yet. Not yet. I'm gonna be doing a YouTube membership thing first, but I am gonna get to the Discord thing. That is something I'm gonna be doing, Eagle Fang. But I want to kind of pop it off with the YouTube membership thing first, because that's gonna be a lot of fun. That is going to be so much fun. I'm actually really looking forward to that. I did talk about it in one of my videos. I'm probably gonna sit there and be plugging it every now and then. So please don't hate me too much for that. um, AJ said that's a great idea. I have a Discord and I'm part of this Sabrina group. Okay. Yeah, I gotta figure out how to set that one up. Isaiah says LOL Bill's lines of reasoning makes no sense. It really doesn't. I'm not gonna lie, Isaiah, you are 100% correct about that. It really does not make any sense. Thank you, Tracy Steve. My God, I really appreciate that. It's I'm always wowed every day that I come on here and I get to do this. And I get amazing subscribers like you, Tracy, and like everyone in the chat that will come on and chill and just talk about the soaps. I love what I do. So thank you everyone for just being here. Um, Thank you, Tracy. Thank you for saying that. Shauna says BNP went to the dogs. Really? I don't know. I enjoyed today. Maybe because GH was such trash today that I actually enjoyed it even more. Kai Williams in the chat was good. Eagle Fang says Willow is the longest living sick. Oh, Eagle Fang, I appreciate you being here. I really do. Um, that's hilarious. Now Samuel says they ain't got black music writers on these soaps either because ain't no way we would have Chase and Flash singing Silent Night. You're so right, Samuel. You are. HSLK, are you part of Sabrina fan? I'm not a Discord. I'm not on Discord like that because I'm taking a break, but I will log back in at some point. Hmm. Blackmon is in the chat. DC is in the chat. Let's everyone say what's up to DC. My partner in crime, my right hand guy. DC says, OMG, Discord is a smart idea. Is asking, is giving asking man late, asking man Lander. Yo, I actually like that storyline. I actually didn't like that. I know a lot of people did not like the Ask Manlander storyline, but I did. AJ said, I had no idea Brick can sing. What, AJ, she can really sing? Like no joke, she can really sing? DC says, I see Albert has been hitting the gym. It's giving me something giving in Portugal. Not really. Not really. It's just actually really hot in here. Um, I guess my heat is actually working today. Awesome. Isaiah says, I hate how the GH writers have failed at writing Michael properly. Yeah, I don't get this whole revenge plot thing. It's pretty stupid. It really is. I think again, that's why I loved B&B so much today. Because it was so over the top, it was so cartoonish. Um and it made little to no sense, and yet I loved it more than yeah. Davlin says Albert is British going to be the next. Oh, Brit going to be next Hook. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing. That's what a lot of people are saying on Davlin. Nikisha's in the chat. Queen Acacia says, I love today's episode. I'm sad to see Brit leaving, but I'm glad they're sending her off with such love. Not if not if the rumors are true about that. Eagle Fang says, yeah, Michael has lost his mind. He is trying to convince himself to hate Sonny. And that's the thing. And that's the thing. When he does take down Sonny, what's going to happen to Michael's family? Because the only reason why Michael's family is safe is because Sonny is still walking. He's still walking, talking, and breathing. And that's the part that's so stupid about Michael's plan. And Laura says, I want so badly for it to come out that Willow and TJ were hooking up all along and her baby is his. Oh, and then I wanted. Yeah, that sounds like a much better storyline, Laura, than what we're getting. CW says, I didn't even waste my time watching Beam today. Yeah, trust me, I know a lot of people aren't fans of B&B, and like I get it. Eagle Fang, the hook is going to get Brit. Exactly, that's what a lot of people are saying. I don't know if it's true, but Laura says if only GH knew how to write for Black folks. Well, Laura, if only GH knew how to write for their characters in general, I wouldn't be having the title up that I'm having right now. I wouldn't be sitting there saying, when did average become the new norm? And J Blue says, when did Michael start calling Sonny by his name instead of dad? Quite a while, actually. Conway says, nothing funny if that's illegal. He has no connection to send. What? Nikki says, I mean, I'm glad the writer is giving. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true. Um, yeah, sure. AJ says Michael needs to focus on his ailing GF right now and then getting back at Sonny. Well, AJ, I guess Michael feel like he can delegate, can do both, which he is failing at doing both, but he's going to try. Colin says, B&B, I'm starting to watching it to the second. I'm starting watching it to the second. What does that mean? Devlin says, Albert, is Brick going to be the next Hook victim? Yeah, Devlin, I feel like that's what the rumors are saying. And it would make sense because the character is, the actor is leaving, the actress is leaving. So I don't see, I see that's the best way to go. Now DC says, but y'all gotta realize Cheese doesn't do diversity, folks. We're so blinded by the Bob Cousy years, y'all fail to see. Now Cheese doesn't do diversity. That's not their thing. As I said, to be fair, their characters better than B&B. Literally everything in B&B is plot driven. At least some things in GH actually make sense. Samuel says GH should have never made Michael a Quartermain. Corinthos. Michael should have always been a Quartermain. It would have made the rivalry between Michael and Sonny make more sense. I can see your point. You have merit in that, Sam. You do. Colin says Legend of the Second. I don't know what that means. Um, it says is mandatory, like another show. You mean diversity? Is that what you're talking about? CW says the thing is that there is no proof that Taylor shot exactly, and it's been and you're right, CW, and it's been years. It's been years since that's actually happened. So you would think at some point that the statute of limitations would just be like, "Yo, okay, Bill, go and tell the cops. What is that going to do?" But of course, we know that Steffi's going to cave because that just makes sense for some odd reason. Um, Even though it's really dumb. Simmons says, right, okay. Isaiah says, I hate how they never punish Sonny, Carly, or Jason for what they do to AJ. You're probably right, but it's Isaiah, it's been years ago. Um, and the sad thing is, you've been watching it longer than me, so you have a valid right to sit there and feel the way that you do. I came into it late into the game when you had the first Carly. I can't remember her name. Um, And by the time I came into it, AJ was a literal POS of a character. Shauna says Taylor confessed to Bill. Why does she confess to Bill though? DC says yeah, Days does it well out of all. Yeah, they do. Eagle Fang says it really had when people bring race into soap operas. Hmm. I mean, I Eagle Fang, I get both points of view. I do understand diversity and how it's important. But I also don't sit there and try to focus on that because I'm just like, listen, if the story's good, that's what that really matters to me. Like seriously, because you can have all the diversity in the world, and the show can still suck. And I think that's what people don't seem to understand about this super push when it comes to diversity. It's not saying that it's not important, but the story has to be more important than the grandiose push for diversity. That's how I feel about it. Seamus says, yeah, and I'm convinced that only because Devlin says Albert is General Hospital going to do a baby switch. That's another one of the rumors, Devlin, is that they're going to sit there and do a baby switch. I hope not, but clearly that happen. We don't always get what we want. And Jakaris is in the chat. What's good? Eagle Fang says people love Trina and she's black, but hate Curtis. I'm assuming that comment isn't towards me because I have no idea what that means. Um, okay. Nikisha, race is every race is already in everything, unfortunately. Definitely says there's a difference between actor doing a good job and actual writings for diversity. Hmm. Now, Cheyenne said we got to do a live stream on the topic of this. I mean, the topic of diversity or just the soap operas in general? So, yeah, yeah. Um, I mean, I'll be up for it. It just depends on when and what I'm doing. Well, how are you doing tonight, Cheyenne? How's everything going in your world? DC says baby switch storylines are so annoying when not done well. Yeah, DC, remember the whole Wiley thing that they dragged out for a year? A whole year. Daisy Flowers in the chat was good. Daisy Flowers says, I don't want Dex to be AJ's son. AJ was such a pain. Dex deserves better. I don't believe Michael is AJ's son. Um, yeah, I mean, well, when I came into it, AJ was a POS. I don't know how he was before. Nate says, I agree about Baby Switch storylines too. It's overused too much these days. But unfortunately, he probably will just sit there and stretch out the story. I'm glad everything is going well, Cheyenne. Yeah, Jay Blue says if do a baby switch, they will be the second time Willow. Yeah, you're right. And that would be kind of tiresome, to be honest. When you really think about it, it would be kind of tiresome. Now, Kyrie said they dragged out Willow for 2 years. Yeah, they did. They did. They really went bananas on that. And by bananas, I mean like stupid. Now, Alexandra says, "Oh, how you doing, Alexandra?" Alexandra says it doesn't make any sense to have Mike and Willow in another baby swap if they fall for it again. It would be so stupid. It would be, and it would be overused specifically on Willow. And by the way, how are you doing tonight, Alexandra? You're new, so thank you for joining. Ron is in the chat. What's good, Ron? Ron says, I told you people that the only Emmy Award General Hospital will win if. Oh, Ron, I'm so glad you're in the chat. Your energy is just, I love it. Now, CW says, I stopped liking Chris when he was so easily giving up. Yeah, me too. Same, same. Dakar says, what do you want for 2023 days? Um, I can't really say, Jakars. I mean, everything's been good so far. It's been a one show that hasn't really disappointed me too much. And yeah, Days just have his faults at times. And now Jakara says, Albert, I was just talking about diversity on shows on my oh, okay. On Twitter space. Okay. Oh, nice, 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 nice. I'm glad Twitter space is going well for you. DC says, yeah, only one baby swap her soap character. I don't think Willow should be subject to an exactly. They did it once, they don't really need to do it again. Kyrie says a part of me wanted Nell to win to change that ridiculous name. Yeah, that is very true. That is very true. It was a dumb name, but it's even a dumber name? Scout. Scout today is for me, Scout and Rocco is the stupidest names I think they've ever given children in my entire life. And I guess it's soap opera, but it's still dumb now. Nowadays, as I wish they would stop shoving Sonny and Nina down our throats every week. More people seem to like Valentine and Anna, yet we only see them periodically. Yeah, but even when we do see Anna and Valentine, they don't really do much of anything. Then Dolly says, "Do you think stuff and brainwashing will wear off?" I think, yeah, exactly, Dolly. I think they're gonna probably stop it before they actually go all the way. I think he's gonna actually get his memories back. Shauna says Wiley sounds better than Jonah. Hmm, to each his own, I guess. Daisy Flow says I really can connect with the young and the restless. With the younger cast from days, I like Trip. Um, AJ says Scout isn't that bad. Well, I'm gonna agree to disagree with you on that. I will respectfully disagree with you on that. Respectfully agree to disagree. Billy says Rocco is the worst name in soap opera history. Yeah. You know what it is? Scout sounds like a Daisy Flaw says Scout's name is Emily. No, no, I'm fine with the Emily part. I'm just not fine with the Scout part. Because I think her first name is Scout Emily. Is it Scout Emily Quarter or Scout Enemy something? I just don't like the Scout part. It's just stupid. Didi says the GH cast is so bloated you could get rid of half of them and still be able to write a lot of stories. Yeah, Didi. That's the one bane of my existence when it comes towards that. Harry says William would have been a better name. Yeah, Ryan says, I'm happy that Sheila is going to stay. She does make the storyline more interesting. Now, DC says so. It'll be the research collab with Chloe that brings Stephens figured out the research once one census company. Exactly. Again, yeah, Dolly, like I said, it's gonna come back. I mean, it's kind of a weird plot device to actually just have it come back now, their memories to come back now. When it says Rocco just seems like okay. Um AJ said I think Scout is her middle name. Oh, okay, I hope so. It was stupid, Nikisha. It really was. It really, really was. Kama says this is a snake a little while ago. Okay. Isaiah says the problem with GH isn't its cast, it's the way they're utilized. Look at how big the cast of days is. You do have a point, but Isaiah, I do feel like they put more people in GH than they do in days. And I feel like that's still a problem though. Now Simon says we can count on our hands how many black, Latinos, and Asian characters have been on these shows throughout the history of soaps. It's just not about race, it's about it's Grady obvious they ain't trying. Daisy Flower says Scout is her middle name. Oh, okay, cool. Good. Good, 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 good. I am so glad it's not her first name. Because my goodness. Oh, I didn't know that, Daisy Flower. Now Ron says Ron Coverline is managing the show very well. He is. Nikisha says when people list black names to prove a point, it proves the opposite, but nice try. Okay. Makai says Epiphany would have been at that party. I remember she had a girls' night with the nurses. I wonder when GH would do her tribute. Probably sometime next week, because you know how they always film ahead. They always film ahead. AJ said I was mad when Sabrina didn't kiss today, so I had to wait till tomorrow. Hope they kiss. They probably won't, AJ, because I saw the previews and it looked like they get interrupted. Um, and you know, these GH just sucks today. Did anyone actually watch Days of Our Lives? And if so, what was your thoughts about it? What was your thoughts about Days of Our Lives? Shauna said, "Oh, break." Yeah, she did. Shauna, she did. They do. Now Shakira said GH was kind of thriller today. How was it kind of thriller today? Isaiah says some of my favorite black characters on GH are Epiphany, Gia, and Taggart. Hmm. I briefly remember Gia. I wonder whatever happened to her. Like as far as the actress is concerned. Shauna says why Bielko wasn't there. I think they had way too many people. They had Scott there, and he served no purpose. So, yeah. Now Dolly says, I liked They say I kind of wish they were a little bigger with Gabby's memory coming back. Yeah, Dolly, they saved it towards the end, but I gotta give them credit though. They made me want it. They made me want to watch the next episode, and I think that's what really works. Like it gave me that feeling again. Oh, Daisy Fly, the actress was on Blue Blood. Oh, nice. Okay. I'm glad she's still doing something. Um, Ron says my favorite day was when Gabby was looking at Shin like Johnny blunted out. Yeah. Oh, blurted out. Janice said, I like Portia on Jay. Yeah, I do too, even though she's straight up lying to his face, but Portia look good. Portia look good. Now, Isaiah says GH apparently became some immigrant lawyer and oh, okay. All right, nice. Laura says, I am not excited. I'm not expecting a big tribute for Epiphany. I'm not either. I'm not either. If they didn't do a good job towards Alan, who's been on the show forever, they're not gonna do a good job towards Epiphany. But also I have my expectations low, so there's that. There's that. Now Dolly says I appreciate Christian's attitude about being called out. Christian was like, yeah, I did it. So Dolly, I'm so surprised that Kristen didn't catch on to Brady's attitude and the fact that he wanted to go to the wedding with her in the first place. But that's what they do with these that's what they do with these shows. They literally love to dumb down characters to provide a plot for plot purposes. That's what they do. And it sucks. I hate it. But plot matters more than story and good writing apparently. So yeah. But I do give Days I do give Days a bit of a break because they've been doing really well. They've been doing really well. So I'm not gonna sit there and knock it. DC says or okay. Yeah, DC, you're right. They love to do that. I mean, hell, my B&B review got a copy, blah blah blah, and I almost stopped. I stopped doing B&B reviews for a while because of CBS and their strictness. Now, Janice says Tucker, who is he going to be with? Maybe Sharon, Jack, Diane will hook up shortly. Oh yeah, Jack and Diane are definitely going to hook up. I saw today's episode, so um, and you got to think for Ashley, the wonderful, gorgeous goddess Ashley. Ron says, so Brady has custody of Rachel and he's going to kidnap her. Yeah, it really is stupid. Isaiah says, what is your favorite GH pairing ever? You know what? I gotta sit there and say Sam and Jason. As much as I love Sonny and Carly, I would sit there and say Sam and Jason. Because before they turned Sam into this useless blah 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 blah, she was the definition of ride or die. And I love that. And it's sucks to be honest. DC says, I'm honestly shocked you got a copy claim since all you did was just exactly. I am too. It literally made no sense. And but DC a lot of times with YouTube they do stuff. They don't make a lot of sense, and instead of them owning up to their mistakes, they double down on their stupidity. They're just like, nope, we made the right call, and it is what it is. Now, AJ said Sabrina is my favorite coupling pair so far. Yeah, I get that. But yeah, no, DC, it was BS. And hell, I didn't even actually have thumbnails at the time. So they couldn't even sit there and say it was because of that. Iran says so when Laura and Spencer learn that Nicholas and Esme are having a child together, what will be the outcome of this? Badly. Which, again, this is something else that Laura I it definitely does, DC. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's times where certain people, you've seen those channels when they just like some people can really um take advantage of the copyright strike of the copyright system, and so I get that. But my whole thing is like they don't have human beings to actually look at the stuff and be like, "Yo, this is wrong. I made a mistake, so I'm not going to sit there and give you a copyright strike." It's lazy on YouTube's part. Now Tracy says Old school couples Robert and Anna are my favorite. Okay. DC says before you know it will we won't be able to talk about the shows unless we have copyright licenses for them. It is ridiculous. It is straight ridiculous. Um, and it sucks. It sucks for us. It sucks for the fans. It sucks all around. Now Nikki says I'm happy to see Sabrina scenes when they are at odds. This actress hasn't gotten fine, playful, and flirty with him until now. Kaiwen just has an emoji that I don't understand. Um, but I like the emoji though. Eagle Fang says Laura already has given up on her own son and focused more on Spencer because she needs to. Yeah, the constant lecturing, the constant nagging has just gotten to a point where it's so annoying. Um, like she comes over there to sit there and start judging him about him being a dad, judging him about who he's sleeping with, and it's just one of those things where it's like, Laura, don't you got a city to run? Like I don't get that. Same as says most of them soaps don't understand social media. They don't even realize that YouTube, Twitter, FB, and other apps are what keeps these 100%. You are 100% right, Samuel. 150% right. Kyrie says Nicholas is such a disappointment. Mm, yeah, but at least they are making him flawed because that's something else that I want to sit there and say. Um, now DC says I remember when they shut down my channel for that. I almost didn't come back after that was, but yeah. Shakira says J Sam, Sonny, and Brenda was my besties. Jagger and I have no idea who Jagger and whatever that is. Um, yeah, Sammy, and you're 100% right. When they sit there and shut down these creators, they don't understand that it's people like me, it's people like DC, Brock TV, and so forth that actually makes this company money, and they make it extremely difficult for us to do our jobs. Dolly says that's crazy that folks don't realize that you guys are providing a valuable service for the fan base. You're basically giving. Thank you, Dolly. Thank you. Yeah, you're right, DC. It's a two-way street. It's and it's annoying. Now Tyrone is in the chat. What's good? As it says, BNB writing off ignores the fact that the show literally has its own YouTube channel that almost every episode since. Yeah, Timmy says if it wasn't for YouTube, I wouldn't even know the history of any of these soaps. They should be thankful people post clips of exactly of a dying genre. You're 100% right, Samuel, and that's also so sad because it is a dying genre. We have 4 soap operas. There was a time period we had 10. How crazy is that? Now Ron says, and Phoenix does lives for his members only. Yes. Yes, he does. Um, oh, Ron. Ron. And DC says, because I don't know what you're saying, Kyron. DC says exactly when they have people interviewing stars on their shows, those people are allowing the viewers to connect with the show on another level to keep their loyalty. Yeah, DC. Because even James have said, it's because of us that we keep them connected to these shows. You know? Shauna says, I hate Sam at first. She had a grow on me like Quinn and Wyatt. Shauna is the exact opposite for me. I used to love Sam back in the day. And now they reduced her to, I don't know, a filler character. She's just there to be there. Shakira says, I like Emily and Nick and Liz and Lucky. Or Liz and Franco. I didn't think it was a multiple choice, but I like your parents so far. Eagle Fangs reality shows, and the internet have destroyed most soaps. But so did bad writing and actors. Yeah, that's very true. Mostly bad writing because we can't always put everything on the actors. Kyrie says really they had since yeah. Um, in the early 2000s, they used to have Guiding Light. They used to have As the World Turned. They used to have Passions. They used to have Poor Charles, All My Children, One Life to Live. They used to have a lot of soap operas back in the day. Um, and you know what? I would sit there and say what kind of killed soap operas, and this just may be my take on it. But I feel like most shows now have a soap opera element. Even the superhero shows have a soap opera element. And so, yeah, why watch something that you have to sit there and go through the history of trying to catch up on this character and whose allegiance to that character? And we could just sit there and just watch a show that have all those elements in it, but you don't have to sit there and watch it every day 24/7. Um, but that's just my take on it. Now Janice says Liz looked better today. What has she been looking like before? DC says Albert is watching all four now is because he knows he needs an insurance policy. That's kind of true, DC, but moreover, I just like having stuff to talk about. I like having stuff to talk about. That's what it really comes down to. Um, when I do these lives, I love being able to switch from one topic to the other. Um, and with these lives, I've never I don't think what I do outside of this is really that interesting. So I wouldn't want to make myself the main topic of my live streams. But I guess I can always sit there and switch it to something else if all four of them just magically disappear. Ron says Albert Steffi shot Sheila first in 2017 and Sheila never pressed charges against her. Really? I didn't know that. Tyrone says I think they got rid of the past soaps over money and get more cooking shows to choose. Yep, you are not wrong. Now Angela said Desperate Housewives killed this killed the stories. Now really what killed all TV was writer strike. Yeah, that definitely didn't help. That definitely didn't help. Well, Angela, it does go back to shows like Desperate Housewives. That was a soap opera. It was a night soap opera, but it was a soap opera. And you didn't have to sit there and watch it 5 days a week. If you missed anything, you got to sit there and jump from behind and sit there and watch it and kind of keep up. So it was a lot of things that did actually kill soap operas. It wasn't just entirely one thing, if that makes any sense. DC says this is exactly why primetime shows should never be called soaps. Such language, its profanity is the highest degree. I'm playing, guys. Cabo was good. Thank you for joining. How you doing tonight? You just oh yeah, I showed you the post that I did. I'm glad that your music career is kicking off. I'm loving the new song. So definitely keep up what you're doing. And also just thank you for being a subscriber of mine. I don't think I always sit there and say that enough. Colin says I think they should have some of the Raiders from Desperate Housewives to be on the show. Well, I wonder what's that chick that played Lois in Superman and Lois? Terry Hatcher. I wonder what she's doing. AJ said Fashion House was a really? I think I heard about that show before. Billy says, but they had popular night soaps in the 80s and daytime soaps were still at their peak. Hmm. Hmm. You have a point, dude. You have a point, Dolly. You have a point. DC says, but in all seriousness, primetime shows are not soap operas. They are primetime shows or dramas. She's improved this message. Eagle Fang says, Laura's a bad mayor when Cyrus is saving her career. Yeah, I honestly tell you, Eagle Fang, that's another character I'm starting to have a problem with. I'm Ben had a problem with. It's Cyrus. I miss the old Cyrus, not this whatever version that we're getting. Angela says they're never gonna press charges and keep on saying, and she always because she helped the ratings go up. That's how you know they aren't rating some of Sheila's. Flora says young people watch. So of course, Kevo, I'm always gonna sit and support you. You've been, you know, you've been here from the beginning. So I'm always gonna have your back. Okay, Angela says because at a certain point in time, 3 times a year, do Young and the Restless come on at night? I don't get that. Laura says because of YouTube, I have discovered soaps that's I never saw before, like Another World. Yeah, and that's another show. That's another soap opera. Now, Jakara says I was watching Beyond Salem and I heard Hope and yeah, exactly, exactly. It's actually kind of funny, Jakara, that you say that because when they brought like One Like Live and some other soaps back on there, they started cursing and people just kind of flipped out. Like it wasn't something that they were used to. Now, Anna says I think shows like Dallas, Falcon Crest, Not Planning were the beginning of soap daytime daytime soap slowly downfall. Hmm. Interesting. Now Jay Carly says it's the same Cyrus, he is just smarter. He's going to use Laura to do his dirty work. He already said he's not going to turn the other cheek. So what are you saying that they're saying, Jay Carly, is that this whole Bible thing is just more of an act than anything else? Laura says, I would love to see Lyndon, one of the four, one of the core four, but she's probably retired. Okay. How's my damn water? Screw the water. I want the water first. CW says, I remember those primetime dramas like Dallas, Dynasty, Knots Landing, and Falcon. Okay. Sammy says, we're not interested in another cooking show or another talk show. Yeah, that's what they did in the early. I forgot when they canceled More Like 11 and All My Children. But that's literally what they replaced it with. Because you know that reality shows are a lot cheaper than like soap operas and stuff. And Daisy Flower says Sonny has short man syndrome. How do you figure that? Dolly says daytime soaps has some of their biggest ratings while Dynasty, Dallas, Knots Landing, and Falcon Crest were still airing. So Dolly, it pretty much kind of goes back to um, the writing of the shows. So okay, all right, I get what you're saying. It kind of disproves my whole theory about okay. Yeah, Shakira, Andrew Tate did get arrested for like human trafficking and stuff like that, which I find interesting because I'm like, this isn't the first time that he got arrested or, the cops have been like investigating this guy. But, he's like almost everyone's guru. So, you're going to have a bunch of people that's going to get all pissy about it. Um, Hikaru says, yes, it is the writing. Angela said, not really, because they didn't really start falling off until 2000. The 90s was the high peak. The soap operas ever was they used to do locations. Yeah, Angela, because they used to actually have more money back then. They used to have more money back then. Yeah, Eagle Fang, he got arrested. Um, it's kind of interesting. I feel like I should do a video on that, but I don't know if I actually have the time to do it. But yeah, he did get arrested for human trafficking, which is something that people have been knowing for a while. So now that he's just getting arrested now, it's Didi says people watch TV differently, and so they're not as a traditional viewer. I think they need to do ratings differently. That is one. You are 100% right, Didi. You are 100% right. People still use. Harry said Bob TV's been saying that about Sonny for years. I don't get how he has Soulman syndrome. But no, you're 100% right. Most people will sit there and watch um Hulu on GH for Hulu. They don't sit there and watch regular television. They don't have time to sit there and be like, seriously, who is normally home at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and watch General Hospital? Most people are at work. Or if they catch up on the weekends, on Hulu or something like that. So yeah, Didi, you're totally right about that. AJ says, LOL, whatever Brock says about Sonny is funny as hell. But true. Angela says Sonny makes up always has him looking sick, but that's the mobster heart look at him. Laura says Danny don't want to come back to the show. They're never going to find Mickey's body. Oh, Tracy says I watch GH on Hulu when I yeah, me too. Well, honestly, tell you the truth, I've been watching on Hulu, so that's why I can sit there and do my reviews a lot earlier. But normally, yeah, if I was just sitting there doing a review, I'll watch it on Hulu. Eagle Fang says only logic thing I can think to do with Cody is giving him friends, and that starts with Austin. Billy says I think soaps have a problem with marketing and with more daring and modern. Yeah, they don't like to kill off a lot of characters. They really don't. So it does make it a little kind of boring. Now, Angela says the England wrestlers used to do nighttime shows like Guiding Light or GH. Really, I didn't know that. Daisy Flaw said, "What happened to Mickey?" I think we're probably talking about a different show. Um, and Takara says, "What are your thoughts about today's episode of Days?" It was good towards the end. It was really good towards the end. I did actually really like that. It gave me. Let's put it this way: when I first used to start watching soaps, and I used to really get into it, I loved the fact that it made me want to watch more. It made me want to watch the next episode. And that's what Days did today. It made me want to watch the next episode. And I loved that. So I thought they actually did a good job. I would definitely sit there and say Days was probably the better show next to B&B. And then Y&R. And then GH. And that's pretty sad. But that's just my opinion. And Didi says ABC and other networks need to take into account that people stream things. Yeah, Didi. Just like the CW. Just like the CW. People expect, people to be sitting down and watching stuff at 8 o'clock at night. I'm like, bro, I'm not. I will watch that the next day or the next day after on the CW on the app because apparently they don't have it for Sony, but whatever. So you are 100% right, Didi. That whole Nielsen rating thing is just, yeah, it's very old fashioned. Kara says, what happened to loving in the afternoon? To love in the afternoon. Ron says, I don't understand why people are saying that they. I'm going to sit there and read with. And Ron says, I don't understand why people are saying that they want Tyler Christopher back. I hope that when he gets the same writing, you people won't go crazy online. That's very true. That is very true, Ron. There's a lot of people that want Christopher Tyler back, And I'm just like, people are still not going to um people are not going to like Nicholas no matter who plays Nicholas. Go off and was watching. Ah, okay. Jakaris, what is it that you don't like about B&B besides everything that everyone said is bad about it? Well, what specifically do you not like about B&B? And Dolly says, I really miss the old school marketing for soaps. They really should invest in more social media marketing. They should, Dolly. And the thing is, the internet is a lot more. The It's a lot more advanced now than it was back then. Now, Jay Carly says, I don't like Nicholas, but I don't want Esme to win. Angela says, but CBS does streams on Paramount. Yeah, they do. But I don't know if they really count them as much as they would count live views. And that's what it really comes down to. Yeah, they'll count the views on streaming services, but they don't count them as much as they do um, when you watch it live. And I'm just like, who the hell is home at 12 o'clock in the afternoon and sit there and watch these soap operas? It's like they think that, this is back in the 80s or whatever when women didn't really work and, the husband would go out and work and stuff like that. Like, it doesn't work that way anymore. And I just don't understand how these people are not caught up with the times yet. You're right, Dee. But unfortunately, sometimes people blame the actor instead of the writers, which really blows me. Now, Jakara says the storyline, Albert, and the storylines, the storylines, Albert, and how they are treating the Foresters. I can't stand them Logans. Go ahead. Jakara, have you ever watched the Young and Restless? I'm just curious if you ever watched The Young and the Restless. Now, Ron says because even Phoenix said that the internet is not getting better because fans go online and say, so yeah, that's very true. There is a level of, I wouldn't sit there and say toxic fans, but just toxic people. Um, which is why a lot of actors don't really do a lot of interviews with YouTubers anymore because of that. Dolly says the CBS daytime ad companies from the late 90s and early 2000s were iconic and made you want to watch. That's very true. Um, I don't understand, and I don't understand with all these other soap operas. Um, Except for GH. GH is the only one that will sit there and show previews. Like all the other soap operas to sit there and do one preview once a week, and I don't get that. But maybe that's kind of good in some ways. I don't know. Someone says sometimes we got to do our own organic promotion. So you have a point, Kylin. Jakar says B&B hasn't been the same since Bell died. No, but Jakar, I'm talking about. Oh, you're trying to get into it, but you can't. Okay, yeah, it does. It does take a while. It does take a while, Jakar. It is not an easy show to get into, and I will sit there and say this: if it wasn't for the fact that I kind of do this like as a channel and kind of for a living, and just something to have something extra to talk about, I don't know if I would necessarily watch Y&R. But I do like watching different storylines. So Laura says like Y&R has been dead since Jenny Cooper died. Was she one of the writers or something? Ah, okay. Comment says I'll give one to be immediately. I don't understand what you're saying. DD says they really dropped the ball with the Austin character. They did. They did. That is, I think that's something that we can all agree on. Granted, DD, when I first started watching Austin, I wasn't a fan of his because I was just like, what's the point of the character coming? What was the point of the actor coming back as a different character? I did not get that at all. I felt like it was the stupidest decision. And everyone looking at this person and being like, oh man, he's so different. And people tried to justify it because of the whole Alex and Ben switch. Unfortunately, the Alex and Ben switch actually worked. And I feel like a lot more people like Alex better than they did like Ben. But with Austin and Franco, it's the exact opposite. And Angeles just actually is a lot of people this home during the day. I guess you're kind of right because people do work from home, but I just don't feel like it's the same. Like back in the day, people were really home to sit there and watch soap operas and stuff like that, take care of the kids. Now it's a lot different. Most people, times are rough. Okay, times are rough. Um, you usually have two people working, so it's a lot different now than it has been back then. Colin says Disney has a policy no vapor character. What? Laura says Jenny Cooper was literally on the show from inception in '73. But I mean, I guess my question is, Laura, what is the actress? Okay, is Jenny an actress or is she a writer? Because I need to sit there and try to gauge how important she is. Um, he says I tried to get into B&B when Scott first went on the show. I think back in. Oh, okay. They did, yeah. And then of course you had the Brooke Taylor and Ridge stuff that they were doing back and forth. Now Jakar says I like Alex. Yeah, no, a lot of people like Alex more than they like Ben. Alex, to me, he gives more of an excitement to the show, and he does actually have more of a bigger friend circle than Ben. Oh, okay, CW, okay, okay. Thank you, AJ. Thank you. Angela said, "Yeah, DD. You know, I will say this much though. As much as people like Franco and they like this character, there was always some people that just couldn't get past what Franco did with Michael. And I know some people are going to be like, no, 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 this, that, and the third. How you doing, Becky D? Thank you for joining. And factory work at night. Okay. But some people just still can't get past what Franco did with Michael. Have a good night, your cars. Thank you for joining. It was really great to see you. And I hope you have a wonderful New Year's as well. Laura says, I can't watch the show, but I love how messy that Eric Braden on Twitter, OMG, the man has no filter. Yes, that is very true, Lauren. Lauren, he actually did an interview with JLJ Media. And once again, the dude has no filter. So if you like Eric Braden, definitely watch the interview with JLJ Media because it was a really good interview. It really was. Now Shauna says I don't like how they are blaming Ridge for everything. He played a part. What do you mean he played a part? Well, yeah, well that's actually very true, Shauna. Because Taylor and Brooke did play their part as well. They want to sit there and try to do their whole, um, I forgot what the joke is, but they did play a part as well. And Didi says Teach did the same stupid recasting with Michael Easton too. They just need to stop that. GH. Yeah, at first it was Michael McBain, then it was Silas, then it was Finn. I didn't understand why they actually had to switch out Silas with Finn. I didn't really get that. But I do like Michael Easton as an actor. Andrew says, look, nothing to do on B&B will ever talk with Steffi is sadly get drunk and cut each other's hair. What? Oh yeah, and now Sally might be pregnant, and that's the whole thing. And G Blue says I was away from GH when Franco did all that. Hopefully thinks Michael Buck came back to see what he did to Sam. Yeah, that is very true. A lot of people, but you know what, Jay Blue? I feel like it was worse for Michael than Sam because with Sam, yeah, it was bad, and for a long time she thought that he did something. But at least she got to know that in reality he didn't do anything. With Michael, the damage was already done. You know, Jonathan says in the chat was good. Jonathan, whenever you're here, you're on time, and I appreciate you being here. So never feel the need to apologize. You are among one of my favorites, and I love having you here. Now, Ron says, I saw something about Bill and Thomas joining forces together. What? I hope Bill shuts down Forrester Creations and Thomas opens his own fashion line. Hippies in the chat was good. Angela says, I like Eric Braden. I just don't appreciate how much him and Melanie push certain people out because they happen to outshine them. Hmm. I'm gonna have to sit there. I'm gonna sit there and have to take your word for it because I only started watching YNR like maybe a year ago. But definitely, Angela, definitely watch that interview with JLJ Media because it's a good one. I didn't see his first interview. I saw his second one, and I really did like it. And Laura says it would be great if GH would stop using the same two or three actors from Like to Live. Roger, Michael don't need to play 59 main characters in the same soap. Um, they did it for a while with the actress that played Kiki. At first, she was starred. We all saw how that went. Hippie, it wasn't good. You didn't really miss anything. So, yeah. Freddy's in the chat was good. Didi says, I think they really wasted Cameron. He started off pretty good. I don't know what happened with him, but he started off pretty good. Freddie says Michael and Josh is a nuisance. Y'all talking about y'all didn't know. So, exactly. It's Freddie, they're hypocrites. And Michael is actually probably the biggest hypocrite between the both of them. You know? And again, his plan is just stupid. Angela says I had to change his name to Finn. They had to change his name to Finn because whatever. So Barber, they came from own that name, that character. I don't know what that means, but yeah, I know they did have a lawsuit with Prospect Park to get those characters back and everything like that, and then they had the audacity to sit there and say that GH was trying to sabotage them. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Now Johnson says Michael said he wants Sonny in prison forever. Let's see if he feels the same way when his family becomes exactly. I don't get that. It's so stupid. And it's funny because we're all watching it. We're all thinking the same thing. Like Michael's plan is so ass backwards. It's so ass backwards. It's like it's like plot versus common sense and logic. You're 100% right about that. AJ said good was huge. Okay. Oh, okay, then happy. Yeah, then you're gonna like it then. Yeah, I take that back. If you like Spencer and Trina, then you're gonna like it. Did he said they didn't own Silas' name though? They didn't. That's why they changed it. That's why they changed it. That's why at one point Star became Kiki, and they just put in brunette hair. And then, of course, Todd became Frank, though. Shannon says, I will never believe Tom would turn on his family because they turned on him. What are you talking about? Are you talking about Tom? Oh, Thomas, maybe? Jay Blue said the karaoke song was the highlight of GH for me. I will take your word for that because I fast forwarded the hell out of that. Shakira said GH was okay. Yeah, I mean, it was like if you need some noise in the background to sit there and listen to, then yeah, GH was okay. It just says Michael needs to give it up and focus on Willow. And Johnson says, ironically, Michael wanted Sonny to go after Nina hard for keeping him from his family. Yeah, and now the storyline is just stupid. It's just really dumb. Now, Kyrie says both Josh and Michael need 5 minutes in a room with Medea. She was. Oh, that's hilarious. Didi says, didn't they start out with John McBain and then Silas and then Finn? You're 100% in that exact order, Didi. And of course, that had a lot to do with the lawsuit, but now Shakira says GH kind of was Thriller. How was it Thriller? I don't get how was it Thriller. You mean because of the music number, or Angela said they can't use those names. That's why they had to develop other characters. Laura says, I always said that Mama should have been Lulu instead of, oh, now they can never no, that can never happen because, I have no idea what you're talking about, Laura. Yeah, Didi, I mean, it was really pointless. Hendrix is in the chat. Good night, everyone. I believe Sonny will end up in prison and Carly will have to take over the business again. Have a good night, Hendrix. Um, well, not if Carly goes to jail as well for that whole insider trading thing. You know, Hippie, I never could get into the Medea movies. Did he said the cancer storyline is so sad, especially for those that are dealing. Yeah, it is. It is. It really is. And that's another thing, Didi. Every time I watch Willow, I am just depressed. Like it's just so sad seeing her. And I get it. They gotta sit there and tell these real stories, but it's just so. I don't know why. I saw this and I immediately had to start playing with this. Okay, I'm done now. Lady Flo says Sonny got on my nerves. How is he going to tell Nina to latch on to? Yeah, I didn't get that out there. That was AJ said, yeah, oh yeah, they had to change because of cop. Yep, they did. That lawsuit. Oh, okay. You're talking about as the world as the world turns. Okay. Yeah, I never watched that show. It just the only thing I liked about the party was oh, okay. Eagle Fangs has GH ever honored the GH doctor that passed away? Nope. But you know, Eagle Fang they shoot this stuff ahead of time, so I feel like they will do something. I just let's put it this way, Eagle Fang. Don't set your expectations too high. Um, because you're going to be very disappointed. Yeah, Ron, they're not really too interesting. Oof. I'm sorry to hear that, Didi. That is heartbreaking. I'm really sorry to hear that. Curry says Sonny is tripping. I don't think it would ever be a good idea him to tell his child kidnappers to latch on. Yeah, I didn't get that at all. That literally did not make any sense. I mean, I kind of understood where Sonny was coming from as far as Nina was kind of sad about losing Jay and everything like that, and Sonny pretty much is like, Do you have more family? Just to try to make her feel better. But that part, yeah, I didn't get that. See, there was any. You really think that they're gonna get back together, Angela? Because I'm gonna be honest, Angela, and I mean, I don't think that you've really been to a lot of my streams. I don't think that the actor is probably going to be on the show after next year. I don't think that Maurice Bernard is actually going to be on the show after next year. I really don't. Um, I think that he's just kind of done. He likes his show on YouTube, and I just don't see him being on the show after next year. Eagle Fang says I have not in the last decade. Oh, okay, Angela. Hmm. Yeah, it's gonna be. I don't want to sit there and say it's gonna be interesting what they're doing, but yeah, Tyrone. I mean, here's the thing: nothing is confirmed as far as Maurice Bernard leaving, but I feel like he loves what he does on his podcast more than he loves waking up at early in the morning doing lines and stuff like that. He's been on the show for years. I think he's just done personally, and I feel like next year is going to be his last year. And Tyrone, I'm not the only person I've said that. That's the thing. And Johnson says I'm going to fast forward through some of Ja's scenes tomorrow because she's going to talk. Yeah, that's the thing, Jonathan. Her, Sonny, they tend to like just be on repeat. They just said, yeah, like Cam deserves better. They need to bring Emma back and soar her for a bit. As long as they kick some other people off, I don't mind who they bring back. And Jay Carter says, I agree. He did an interview when he said that he's almost done with the show. So yeah, yeah, AJ. I mean, granted, nothing is confirmed. He didn't just outright say that he's leaving, but like Jay Carly said, like the dude's been doing this for a long time. He's kind of done, and I don't blame him. He's been doing a show for like 30 something years, if not longer. And then he was also on All My Children. And what is he now, like, what, 60, 65? Yeah, no, my dude is done. He's done. I don't blame him. And to be honest, I love Sonny as a character, but he hasn't been hitting for a while. Sonny used to sit there and do the whole mob thing. And now that he's not a mobster, what is really his purpose on the show? It's not to sit there and say Sonny can't do other things, but yeah. And Angela says they have a groom, nobody to take over Sonny, so he's not going anywhere yet. Yeah, but I mean, let's think about this for a minute. When did Sonny have the last heavy hitter? The last heavy hitter was Cyrus, and now look what they're doing with it. Johnson says if they do set Sonny to leave the show, they should bring Morgan back first. Johnson, if they do bring back Morgan, they're going to bring him back as a different actor. I don't think that he's coming back on the show. Um, Freddie says everybody gonna see Carly as the wicked attorney. Yeah, I mean, Freddie, they're gonna see her doing that again. She's been doing that since the '90s, so this is probably par for the core for her. Um, Aaron says even Phoenix said that he feels Luis Minara is not. Yeah, Ron. Yeah, a lot of people have been saying that. A lot of soap opera commentators have been saying that. Which I'm okay with. We got Miss Wu now, so you can't take over. Yeah, Kyrie, she could be the new mob person. I don't know. See, I know a lot of people in the chat didn't like the mob stories. And I know that people will sit there and argue with me about the ratings weren't really that good back then, but I felt like the ratings were really good back then. I felt like back then when you had Manny, when you had Alcazar and stuff like that, that really brought a lot to the show. And it's not like it was just Mob Central 24/7. They had the Dylan and Georgie and Maxie story. They had the Lucky stuff with Gia and Nicholas and stuff. They had the Cassidy and stuff. It's not like it was just. I feel like people complained so much about the mob stuff back in the day, but it wasn't as mob heavy as people may sit there and think it was. It's not like they didn't have other things on the show. Yeah, Jonathan, they're definitely gonna sit there and do a different person. Now Nate says, "Wait, MB is leaving good. Not that I don't mind. I'm just curious." Yeah, Nate. Like Jay Carly said, she did. MB did a video or did an interview, and more than he kind of not in so many words. He pretty much just like he's kind of done with the show. He's done with soap operas. I mean, think about this, Jonathan and Nate. Um, if you ever watch State of Mind and you see how he is on State of Mind compared to how he is on GH, a lot of people feel like he is phoning it in. He's really just phoning it in. He's not really like doing his best acting wise. And I don't blame him. I mean, the dude's been doing it for like 30 years. At some point, you're gonna kind of lose your passion for the show. It is what it is. And Sharon says Sonny better not say nothing to Carly because he's never made Nina pay for anything. Yeah, but that's not gonna stop Sonny from being a hypocrite. Angela said, I'm so sorry to burst everyone's bubble, but with Maurice, Laura, there's no other show like Eric Braden and Melanie. It's just not the same without them. Are you sure about that, Angela? You know, if this was like early 2000s, like 2007, 2005, I would agree with you. But even as a Sunny fan, I don't think he is as important as everyone make him seem out to be. Because what it really comes down to is the writing. It comes down to the writing. Yeah, Sunny at one point there was somebody that said that it was a Sunny show. But it really does come down to the writing when you really think about it. Um, because they can make other characters much more important than Sunny. They can make other characters much better than Sunny. They're just choosing not to, and it's unfortunate. And granted, this is coming from somebody who loves Sunny. Um, who loves Sunny? Oh wow, yeah, no, yeah, Angela, yeah, for 30 years he's been doing Sunny, but then he was also on All My Children before that. I don't know how long he was on there, but my point is that I don't feel like Sunny is as important as people like to make him think. As people like to think he is. Rob is in the chat. Was good. Yeah, Spike. Yeah, whatever happened to that? Like at one point, did Drew just magically get back his memories, or did you just skip past that part? Because I don't even remember that. Ron says, "Time out, Sunny." Now CW says, "I remember the late Joseph who played Stefano on Days played in Mobster on GH. Really? That's interesting." At one point, I heard that Victor from Days of Our Lives used to be in the mob. That is very true, AJ. The teams are taking over. They are taking over. And that's kind of a good thing, too, when you really think about it. That is very true. He is much more energized on State of Mind. I mean, think about it. It's a show where he gets to sit there and set his own hours, um, and just really have fun interviewing people, talking about stuff that he's passionate about. Very quick says, do you think Brenda on GH. Yeah, she is. She is. Vanessa, I can't remember her last name. Yeah, she is definitely. She is. She's good. She got it going on. I'm not gonna lie. Of course, I do sit there and think that certain people might be. Hmm, yeah, think about that. That's a very good question, by the way. Because I'm sitting there thinking like she's hotter than. I guess she is kind of hotter than Portia, but not really. I don't know. I would have to sit there and see them side by side. Angela says they run the show through those specific characters. Yeah, it's been their biggest strength, but it's also been their biggest weakness too. AJ says yes, it's Albert. Yes, it is Albert. Like the adults are bringing everything except for Vanna. Now Freddie says Alexis told Carly Christina was Sonny's father when they were trapped in the elevator. Carly kept that from Sonny. Yeah, she's been, again, as I always sit there and say this all the time, she is like the queen of trying to keep paternity tests, from getting out. She's been doing that for years. She's been doing that since I first started watching. Well, actually, no, she's been doing that before I started watching. If we're really going to sit there and keep count of everything, Iran says the actress playing Esme Prince. Ron, I don't think there's any. I don't think there's really a lot of haters. I really don't think there's a lot of haters. In all reality, Ron, I think there's a lot of people that's being somewhat sympathetic towards Esme. Yeah, she framed Trina, and that was wrong. And she did the whole revenge thing for Cam and Joss, and that was wrong, right? But there's not one character on this show. Like even like when you sit there, let's sit there and look at the scene with Esme and Liz. Liz has done some dirt back in the day, and yet she is sitting there talking about, oh, well, you done this to Cam, this, that, and the third. Liz, you literally kept Jason at one point from his other family. And we're going to sit there and act like that's not a thing. It's so hypocritical for Liz to sit there and start really judging Esme. When Liz, you sit there and lie and scheme and cheat and do all that stuff. Yeah, she's totally okay with keeping a pregnant woman hostage. And she in her tiny little brain, she actually thinks that you know, Nicholas isn't going to kill her. CW says Drew didn't want his memories back because it would erase his memories. Okay, so he doesn't have all his memories back. Damon is in the chat. Was good. She helped Finn put Peter in a freezer. Exactly. She's done that. She's cheating on. You know what I'm saying? Like she's done her fair share of dirt. That's my whole thing. Really, Daisy Flower? Because I feel like they're almost kind of worse. Like let's Daisy Flower says you have me defending Liz. I'm just saying, like, my whole thing is like, it's not a question. Honestly, tell you, Daisy Flower, we can sit there and go back about whose crimes are worse between Liz and Esme. But that's not even the problem. The problem really comes down to is the fact that Liz has done her fair share of dirt as well. Yeah, I mean, granted, yeah, it was bad. But Daisy Flower, so is keeping Jason at a time away from his other family. That was terrible as well, and she had no problem doing that. Again, it's not a contest between who's done worse, vice versa. It's the fact that Liz has done her fair share of dirt as well. That's what it really comes down to. Victoria says, though they said it was never said, I think Elizabeth helped Peter escape. I mean, no, I get it, Daisy Flower. Trust me, there's a lot of people that don't like Esme. And you know, you have your valid reasons. I'm not going to sit there and try to dismiss that. But let's not sit there and try to act like Liz is a saint as well. I mean, let's be honest. This woman is pregnant and she's being held captive, and yet Saint Liz has no problem keeping her there. Why? Because she doesn't want to sit there and get herself in trouble. She doesn't want to get Nicholas in trouble, and she's totally fine. Like it's just bad in general. I'll sit there and say that it's just bad in general. Diddy says it's sad because they're really nobody I ship that much on GH anymore. Don't hate me, but I was a hardcore Sabrina. Oh, Sabrina and Patrick fan from back in the day. Laura says Liz is a mess. She's not an angel. She's not. She is not. Now, Damon said Esme reminds me of Robin Heather a lot. I don't know who that is. If it's not one of the four soap operas that's on right now, I have no idea who that is. Spiderquake says holding a pregnant woman is terrible. It is. Oh, the original Heather. Okay. Yeah, and that's something else about the original Heather. I do like this Heather better, but they you know the actress is playing them. The two actresses that played Heather completely different. One plays Heather like Harley Quinn, and the other, I don't know. You're right about that, Daisy Flower. Esme is getting better treatment than what Rick did to Carly. But to be fair, they're both being held hostage and they're both pregnant. So actually, in reality, how much is that? How much is a better treatment is she really getting? For drugging two people, I don't. Okay, I might have missed your last comment, AJ. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for the info. Jay Blue says, yeah, Laura. Liz is a hot mess. Lady Flora says it makes sense that Esme's parents, Ryan and it, she would be in jail. It just says I don't blame Liz for torturing Esme. All right. I mean, I kind of get where you're going, AJ, but at the same time, I'm going to have to agree to disagree on that. I'm going to have to respectfully agree to disagree on that. Ron says, I hope that Liz gets thrown in jail for aiding and abetting for keeping a pregnant woman against her will. Yeah. I mean, listen, don't get me wrong. I'm not just saying that what Esme did was right. Okay. Um, the revenge thing and framing Trina and getting her almost sent to jail was definitely not the right thing to do. But you know, in this soap, and, you know, especially in GH, and it's not even really a degree of who done the worst within the show. But the point is, everyone has done bad things, and some people have done worser things than Esme. You know, so I guess that's why I kind of feel a little bit bad for Esme, just a tiny bit. You know, Spider Quick says if you're holding a pregnant woman, that's just plain wrong, no matter what the person did. You know, Spider Quick, you are 100% right. Um, but you know, it's also wrong, Spider Quake, arguing with a pregnant woman while she's pregnant, kind of like Nina and Willow. Not that I'm gonna really sit there and bring back that argument again, but yes. Um, Peggy Flaw says the only worst thing is murder. Yeah, that's very true. And well, technically, Liz didn't actually murder anyone, but you know, she didn't actually say anything, and she just covered it up. Spiderquick says, I wouldn't care about Esme getting kidnapped, but she's pregnant. That's why I get. No, I agree with that. I agree with that, Spiderquick. She is pregnant. I guess you know what? I'm not even gonna bring that up. I'm so not gonna. I'm so not gonna bring that past argument up. Now Johnson says, "Do you think Gabby will find a way to get Steph memories back now that she knows the truth?" I don't see why not, Jonathan. I mean, she's gonna be done with Shen, and she was only with Shen because it was a consolation prize. So yeah. Tyrone says, since Avery is not leaving, is it possible she will just be what a young Heather Weber was back in the day? Keep returning to cause trouble. Probably. I really feel like that's kind of one. Well, she caused trouble for a while, and that was fun. And now, now she's doing this whole somewhat redemption storyline, and some people are actually feeling it. I don't know. I think they'll probably do a redemption thing for a little bit for a while. AJ said, I don't care if Esme is pregnant, she deserves to pay for her crimes. Yes. Trust me, I know you're not the only person in the comment section that agrees with that. Nikisha would agree with that too. She's still listening. Spotty says, and Albert, we were always going to disagree about the Nina versus Willow thing because I feel like it still wasn't all Nina's fault. Yeah, you are right, Spider Quake. We are right, but I did not sit there and throw that in there. You know I had to sit there and throw that in there. But it's because you've been on my stream so long. I kind of remember that conversation. Um, that's why I kind of bring it up. Trust me, it's not to go back and forth with you. It's actually kind of a good thing. Yes, me too, Jonathan. It's going to be good. And I also heard that they're not going to be. There's certain soap operas that's not going to be on tomorrow. Kyrie says, okay. Ron says, so does Sunny for killing AJ. Also, Jason was a hitman. Nobody is squeaky clean. You're right. Simon says there are women having babies in prison every day. What makes Esme the exception? No, you're right. You are 100% right about that. And Johnson says I still don't feel sorry for Esme. No, I get it. I get it. I'm one of those odd ducks, I am. I'm one of those odd ducks that sometimes when nobody else feels sorry for a character, I do, and vice versa. So I get it. Trust me, I did not give a damn about Jada and her attitude on Days of Our Lives when everyone else was like, "Well, I understand her attitude. I understand." I wasn't having it. Um, Victoria, how you doing tonight, Victoria? Carly is going to look so bad as yeah. In all reality, it's sad because she's actually going to be at death's door before Carly decides to do anything. Samuel says Esme isn't in the dungeon because she's pregnant. She's in the dungeon because she's dangerous. But how dangerous is she really, Samuel? I mean, we don't even know if she actually killed Oz. The only thing that she's done was some really terrible bad things that people have done in real life as far as the revenge thing. So just how dangerous is she really? Kyrie says Trina still needs to beat Esme down after Esme gives birth. Yes, I'm glad you said after she gives birth. AJ says, I know it's wrong to hold a pregnant woman hostage, but I'm all for Liz doing what she needs to do to Esme. Okay. Victoria says, hi, Albert. Sorry for being late. I was catching up. Victoria, trust me, there's no need to be sorry. Like I said to Jonathan, I always appreciate when people show up in the chat, and thank you for being here. So never feel the need to apologize. Now, Cal, I'm gonna call you Cal. Hi, Albert. Does anyone think the Hook Killer could be Trina with a split personality? That is a rumor because of her schizophrenia. But schizophrenia doesn't work that way. So I can't sit there and say that she's the killer, although it would sound really juicy. Um, no, I don't think that. I don't think that. I hope it's okay for me to call you Cal because I'm bad with names. And thank you for joining, by the way. Yeah, Deji Fly. I don't think that she killed the mother. Laura said Jada is the Jada is the reason why I am not watching Days at the moment. I was going to start watching again, but then she went and oh, okay. I'm I'm not even gonna touch that subject. Um, AJ said Esme is still dangerous. How is she dangerous? I mean, I'm not saying that you're wrong, but I just don't see it. Ron says, "Oh, please, Trina can't be anyone, and Esme isn't afraid of her, neither Joss." Dame said that recast of Nick seemed more sinister than he did. Actually, seem like a good recast. He did. Shakira says having pumpkin pie tomorrow for days. Hmm. I have to sit there and think about what kind of treat I'm gonna have tomorrow. But it's gonna be good though. Now Sammy says her parents are Ryan and Hazme, and you Ryan and Heather. You have a good point. You have a good point. You know what it is, Samuel? I just she hasn't done anything that was really dangerous. Like she's done stuff that was evil and spiteful. But Heather and Ryan are killers. And so far she hasn't killed anyone yet. That's what I mean by that. Now Johnson says it would be interesting if Michael turned on Carly. Yeah. But I want that to happen. I want the same amount of smoke that Michael is giving Sonny, that Michael should be giving that Michael should give Carly. But I'm disappointed that it may happen. Yeah, again, I'm not touching. No offense, I'm not touching that whole subject with a 10 foot pole. I'm not. I'm just not going to do it. Johnson says so. Now we know that the real reason Marcus is leaving Jason because of health reasons. Yeah, I heard about that too. I don't know how much I believe that though. Oh, Janet, it's because of his previous COVID issues. I mean, his previous COVID health issues. That's why he said that he shouldn't film the last two episodes or whatever. Or he shouldn't like they're giving him the reason of they're giving that as a reason of why he didn't film those last couple of scenes. I just don't know if I really believe it. You know, I just don't know if I really believe it. I feel like it's just a nice PR stunt to be honest. But you know what? I will. To be honest, I don't think that we're ever going to really know the truth, unfortunately. And that's the sad part. Then I'm sitting there thinking, do we really need to know? Is it our right to know the real reason why he got fired or let go? I mean, yeah, I get it. It's a very juicy and interesting storyline. And a lot of times, usually the behind the scenes drama is more interesting than what's going on in these shows. The Kyrie says Esme attempted to kill Oz. She poisoned him. That's why he was in the coma before. That's very true. That's very true. Okay, you got a good point. You got a good point. Maybe she is a lot more dangerous than I'm you know. Now Dee said give Marcus the benefit of the doubt because if he really did just flake out on those scenes, it's bad for his career. And then Dee says soaps are like adult. Hmm. Oh, we got a new person in the chat, Gene. What's good, Gene? AJ said rather. AJ said rather you agree with Jada or not. It's not. Oh, okay. Yeah. Again, I'm not touching that with a 10 foot pole. Didi said behind the soap scenes are like an adult daycare. It's more like a really interesting soap. I would sit there and say that. Sammy says that's the point. She is in the dungeon show. She doesn't do something dangerous. If someone has shown signs that they are mentally right, Are you going to wait for them to? That's very true. You got a good point, Samuel. You got a good point. You got a good point. I don't know. You know what it is, Samuel? Maybe I'm just liking Esme a lot more because the episodes have been crap, and Esme has been the highlight of these episodes. Now, Tyrone said when Trina finds out that she has been lied to about being Tagger's, being her father, and it was Curtis, she will run to Spencer. And yeah, very true, Tyrone. The Sabrina fans will definitely get what they want. They may not get it in the way that they want it, but they will get it. Now, Gene says, "So, Albert, are you ready to claim?" Well, Gene, I do have a thing for bad girls. I will say that much. I do have a thing for bad girls. Kristen, I can't think of any other bad girls that I have a thing for. Seamus says this is not the first. I don't know what that means. Hey, well, it is 10 o'clock. I have to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, super early. And like usual, I generally kind of went over the time that I plan on going over. But that's because I just enjoy talking to everyone, just talking about the soaps. And this has been very, 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 very fun. But with that being said, I think I'm going to sit there and end the stream right here because it's late and I got to be up in like about um, the crack of dawn, like usual. Johnson says her bone. Nice. Okay. It's going to be interesting. Thank you, Victoria. Thank you. Have a great night. Thank you for joining. I really appreciate you being here. Um, have a good night, AJ. Thank you. Have a good night, Dee Dee. Thank you for joining as usual. Thank you, Samuel. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Shakira. Thank you, Nikisha, DC. Um, Tyrone, thank you for joining as always. It was a pleasure to sit there and talk to you. Have a good night, Hendrix. It's always great to see you in the chat. It's always great to sit there and see some new people as well. Have a good night, Samuel. It was great as always to sit there and talk to you. Um, always love to sit there and have my favorites and my usuals in the chat. So that means everything to me. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you. Lauren's another new person, so I look forward to seeing you in the next live stream tomorrow. CW says there are rumors that Kathleen and Thomas that plays Ridge don't get along. Oh, wow. Okay, that's an interesting one. CW. Have a good night, Makai. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Kyrie's, as always, for joining in the stream. Thank you. That means a lot to me. This was a hell of a lot of fun. Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, Jay Blue. And if I didn't sit there and say goodnight to you, um, have a good night. There was a long list of people, and I will be here forever. Have a good night, Ron. Thank you. Oh, Ron, I love your energy. I really do. That is very true. He's going to be doing his live for his members only. And me, I will be sitting there doing live streams for members only as well as people, just my subscribers as well. So I'm going to be doing some double duty. Okay, that sounds gross. I'm going to be doing a lot. That sounds a lot better. Have a good night, AJ. Thank you for joining. Thank you, everyone. I love you all from the bottom of my heart. And this was a hell of a lot of fun. And I look forward to seeing everyone in the next stream. Thank you, CW. Yes, DD. Oh, thank you, Cal. I hope it's cool that I call you Cal. Hold on. I will get your name. I'm gonna call you Cal for tonight. But if you're in my stream tomorrow, which is going to be 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, I'm going to try to get your name before the stream starts. And I can actually call your name properly. It took me a while to sit there and get Kyrie's name right and a couple other people, so I will get your name right eventually. Okay, Cal, thank you. Have a good night, everyone. Stay safe, and I look forward to seeing everyone in tomorrow's stream. So just look out for the notification, and we'll have a lot of fun.